All right, good evening and welcome to the opening ceremony of the International Space University Space Studies Program 2024. I'm Claudia Izaguirre, the SSP Director, and I'm honored to be your Master of Ceremonies. We are thrilled to have you here as we celebrate the kickoff of an incredible journey of discovery for the SSP participants. Since ISU's inception 36 years ago, the SSP has contributed to ISU's diverse global network of space experts and enthusiasts for more than 5,600 alumni in 110 countries. Today, after 27 years, the SSP returns to the Space City and to Rice University for another incredible, and I must say, hot summer. Today's opening ceremony comes after months of preparation by people from all over the world. An event this magnitude would not be possible without the coordinated efforts of generous organizations and dedicated individuals. To all who have contributed to this SSP, whether you're watching online or you're here in person, thank you for your dedication and passion towards this program. On behalf of the SSP team, I'd like to thank the many organizations reflected on the screen who are making this SSP possible. I'd like to thank Rice University and their partner Johnson Space Center for hosting this year's 36th session of the SSP. Now I'd like to introduce with great pride the class of SSP 2024. In true ISU tradition, the SSP participants will now enter bearing their flag of their countries. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome United States of America. Brazil. Canada. France, Germany, Hungary, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Japan, Kenya, Lithuania, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Spain, Switzerland, Turkey, United Kingdom, Please join me in welcoming the ISU Space Studies Program Class of 2024. You guys can be seated. I hope your feet are not too tired. This is a very large class. This year we have 155 participants, a record high, representing close to 35 countries, covering a range of professions in all levels of experience, all coming together for this intensive and challenging 8-week program. To begin, let's hear a welcome message from the president of our host institution, Reggie DeRoche.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
We meet at a college noted for knowledge, in a city noted for progress, in a state noted for strength, and we stand in need of all three. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and to the planets beyond, and we have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. Space and related industries are generating new demands in investment and skilled personnel, and this city and this state and this region will share greatly in this growth. What was once the furthest outpost on the old frontier of the West will be the furthest outpost on the new frontier of science and space. Houston, your city of Houston, with its manned spacecraft center, will become the heart of a large scientific and engineering community.
Hello, I'm Reggie DeRoche, President of Rice University, and it's my pleasure to welcome the participants in the International Space University's 2024 Space Studies program to the Rice campus. While President Kennedy's 1962 Rice Stadium speech was undoubtedly a landmark moment in the history of human space exploration, the collaboration between NASA and Rice goes back even further. Starting in 1958, the same year the space agency was founded, Rice alumnus and board chairman George R. Brown was already hard at work behind the scenes, making sure that Houston and Rice would play leading roles in America's race for space. The university's first official research collaborations with NASA commenced in 1959, just months after the space agency's founding, and in 1961, thanks in large part to Brown and his friend and former Rice roommate, Congressman Albert Thomas, Houston's transformation to Space City, USA officially began when the city was named the site of the NASA Manned Spacecraft Center, now Johnson Space Center. In direct response to President Kennedy's 1962 speech at Rice, the university established the nation's first dedicated space science department in 1963. And when Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to walk on the moon in the summer of 1969, they carried with them a lunar dust detector experiment designed by Rice professor Brian O'Brien. Since then, Rice graduates and researchers have contributed to every NASA spaceflight mission, and to date, 16 of the university's alumni and faculty have had the Rice stuff to serve as astronauts or NASA administrator. In 1987, the International Space University was founded to pursue the exploration and development of space through international, multidisciplinary programs of education and research. This year, Rice is proud to be hosting our second ISU SSP. President Kennedy called the exploration of space one of the great adventures of all time. And as Houston's history shows, giant leaps start here. We are proud to partner with our friends at NASA Johnson Space Center as Rice welcomes ISU to Houston for a summer of great adventure. We wish you every success as you take your next small step in humankind's ongoing giant leap.
We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won, and they must be won and used for the progress of all people.
Houston, the International Space University has landed.
Thank you, Rice University, for a warm welcome message. In the video, President John F. Kennedy states, "We meet at a college noted for knowledge, in a city noted for progress, in a state noted for strength, and we stand in need of all three. For we meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear." In 36 years, the SSP has not repeated its host sites, and we're honored to bring the SSP back to Houston in an era where JFK's words spoken at Rice University Stadium resonate again with the growing space sector. With that said, I would like to welcome our first speaker, Dr. David Alexander, Director of the Rice Space Institute. Dr. Alexander, along with Greg Marshall and the rest of the Rice staff supporting this event, have worked countless hours to make this program possible. Please help me welcome Dr. David Alexander.
I think I have to move this up. Well, thank you. It's very hard to follow a video that shows you cool space stuff. I don't have a cool video, but I'm going to try and do my bit to welcome you all to Rice University. As I mentioned, I'm the director of the Rice Space Institute, which has been around since the year 2000. I've been the director since 2012, and we work very closely with our friends over at the Johnson Space Center. So on behalf of the Rice Space Institute, it's my great honor and privilege to welcome you all, and you'll learn by the time you leave Y'all is singular, all y'all is the plural. So when I next see you in Germany, in Scotland, wherever, all y'all. It's taken a little bit of work to get you all on campus, and I want to thank all the people who made it happen. Claudia's already mentioned some of them. Our colleagues at the International Space University have been working night and day to get us here, and 24/7 since they got here, I think. NASA Johnson Space Center, of course, many people here have contributed to getting us here. James, I have to mention James. Where are you? James Lewis. There he is. And the many others. Lisa, of course, has been fantastic. And I'm probably leaving out people, and I'm in trouble already. But anyway. And of course, here at Rice, a particular mention to Greg Marshall, who's already been mentioned, Ellie Mix, Holly Evans, and several others across campus. I also would like to acknowledge several members of the Consular Corps in the audience who represent the international community here in Houston. We have several members representing of the 94 or so consulates that we have here. So again, welcome and thanks for coming out and supporting the class of 2024. And I particularly want to welcome you to this particular this edition. I've taught in previous editions of SSP. Obviously, this one's in our home turf. It's a historic campus, as you just heard, and Space City, I think, deserves its name, and you're going to hear more about that from one of the speakers coming up, who's sitting right next to me there in the audience. And many of the comments you've already heard, you will hear this evening, the speech by John F. Kennedy at Rice in 1962 will feature heavily. I would encourage you, if you've got the time, if you're bored with your classmates or you're just hanging out, if it's raining or too hot for you, it's worth listening or reading the whole speech. It's about 17 minutes long, but you can actually translate almost all of it to today and all the things that you're seeing happening around the world and also here in Houston in particular in that speech. It talks about universities, it talks about new technologies, it talks about industry, it talks about all of the things, international diplomacy, all of the things that are very relevant today. So I would encourage you to look at that. You'll also see that in that speech, it doesn't get quoted very often, but he also said he thinks it was hotter in Houston than it was on the surface of the sun. Hopefully you won't experience that kind of heat, but we're starting to get there already. And like everyone else, I would like to pick a couple of sentences from that speech, as I think this is particularly relevant to all of you here and what you're hoping to do over the course of the next 8 weeks. And I'm not going to do the Boston accent, so forgive me for that. The growth of our science and education will be enriched by new knowledge of our universal environment, by new techniques of learning and mapping and observation, by new tools and computers for industry, medicine, the home, as well as the school. Technical institutions such as Rice will reap the harvest of these gains. Those harvests come from all of you. Not just what you learn here, but what you take with you into your careers and where you go from here. And to future participation in SSP and with ISU. So you've got a lot to live up to in these 8 weeks. I'm sure you all will do very well. And so with these words in mind, I encourage you all to make the most of your time in Houston, make the most of the wealth of space expertise that you'll engage with, and most of all, approach your studies with dedication, enthusiasm, and have a little bit of fun while you're at it. And I'll see you all y'all, in class later this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Alexander, and the staff at Rice University for your dedication has been instrumental in bringing us where we are today. I also would like to acknowledge a true visionary who led mankind to explore space, George Abbey. Mr. Abbey was one of the driving forces in the background advocating for the SSP to be hosted at Rice University, and for that we are grateful. So, Godspeed, George Abbey. Now, I would like to introduce to you a long-standing family member of the ISU community, Dr. Christian Salleberger, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the International Space University, and an alumni of the 1988 inaugural class of ISU. Please welcome Dr. Christian Salleberger.
Thank you, Claudia. Dear SSP participants, faculty, staff, dear hosts from Rice University and NASA, dear alumni, dear family and friends of ISU. So here we are in Houston, the center of the human space exploration world. What a fitting place for ISU to have its SSP. We are overjoyed to be back here in Houston after 27 years, and it's going to be a great summer for the participants. I'd like to thank the ISU President, Nicola Peta, and all the staff at ISU, both those here, those at the working at the Central Campus in Strasbourg, that have worked so hard to put together this great program for the past several months. A lot of hard work has gone into that, and I like to thank them and recognize all those efforts. And so then, now let me address myself now to the participants. Congratulations on being here. The application process, the admissions process is very stringent at ISU, so if you're here, congratulations are in order. As Claudio mentioned, I know the feeling a little bit. I was sitting there in your shoes, in your seat, some over 30 years ago in '88, in that first SSP class, wondering what was coming. There was not a lot of history then. There is now. You have a little bit of a sense of it, but I can guarantee you, you don't yet know what to expect. This is going to be a great summer for you, a life-changing experience. So congratulations. I can assure you that you are going to embark on an incredible journey and learn about space from all aspects, about technical aspects, about business aspects, policy aspects, even sociological aspects, and learning about the role of space in the world today. And that's an ever more important thing. Space is more and more important today, more important than it's ever been, and we're counting on you to do the right thing for the world, for humanity, and using space for that. And so let me just draw your attention to your fellow classmates here. 155, largest SSP class that ISU has ever had, coming from over 30 countries. We're all very proud to see you marching in here. Like you, all your fellow participants here have been chosen because of their strong academic achievements, their interest and commitment to space activities, and importantly also because of their potential that they've demonstrated for leadership and their expectation that they'll be playing leadership roles within the global space community. You'll be spending a lot of time together with your classmates, certainly sitting side by side, listening to lectures, working in workshops, design activities, eating together, relaxing together, celebrating together, perhaps even enjoying one of those famous Texas barbecues here together. Take advantage of this. Take advantage of this. When we ask our alumni after they exit the program, what did you get? What was the best thing you got out of the SSP program? We hear about the great courses, all the interesting things they learned, the interdisciplinary nature of the knowledge that they've gained, and that all is very important. But when we ask that question 5 years later, 10 years after you graduate, invariably the answer we hear, it's that strong network that they were able to get at the SSP program. And having friends that are leading space activities around the world, that you can pick up the phone when you're needing to solve a problem and join activities with another company, another country, someone else working in the space world. So take advantage of that and look around you. Look to your left, to your right. These are the future leaders of the academic space world. These are the managers of the space agencies around the world, the future managers. These are the future captains of space industry. So take advantage of this summer and make those friendships that will serve you well throughout your career. So congratulations again on having been selected to participate in this year's SSP program. Take advantage of the summer to learn. Take advantage of the summer to learn about all the different aspects of the space world, to dream the big dreams, and to formulate the plans on how to make those dreams a reality. Know that we're all going to be watching you as you do that and have your careers in the space world. So thank you very much, and have a good summer.
Thank you, Chris. I'm pleased now to introduce our next speaker, the president of ISU, Nicholas Peter. Nicholas Peter also has served as ISU Professor in Practice of Space Policy and International Affairs and is seconded by the European Space Agency. Please help me welcome ISU's president, Nicholas Peter.
Good afternoon. Let me go to the first page of my speech. So dear guests, dear SSP 24 participants, dear ISU staff, faculty and community, here in Houston but also online, dear representative of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen, howdy. I'm honored as president to have you with us today for this opening ceremony. For many of you, it's the beginning of your journey with ISU. A journey of learning and friendship, as Chris just mentioned. The ISU success, because it's a success, is built on the content of its education, but also its community. And the sense of belonging to a community is what makes an education at ISU special. That's the ISU stuff. This would, however, not be possible without the strong support of many partners and sponsors. So I want in particular now to thank the organization sending employees as participants to the program. Those include NASA, ESA, JAXA, ISRO, UKSA, Canadian Armed Forces, French Air Force, Italian Air Force, CSRO, Oman Ministry of Defense, Saudi Space Agency, JAMS, Embrapa, Canadensis. Thank you. So for the ones who don't know the acronyms, now, don't worry, in a few weeks, they will all mean something to you. But equally important, our organization granting scholarships for many others to attend. And here, I want to thank the UK Space Agency, ESA, CNES, ASI, SSPF, AAS, New Space Catalonia, Ilan Ramon Foundation, Dr. Casey Foundation, Tokuo University, Inspire Space. Thank you. Finally, to our sponsors that are allowing some of the activities and the visits that we'll have the next week. Odyssey Space Research, Aerospace Corporation as our aims, Houston Spaceport, Jacobs Engineering, Redwire, NanoRacks, Planetary X, Houston Methodist Pumps and Pipes, River Advisor, but also Axiom, ExxonMobil, Saskatchewan International Center for Space Architecture, Collins Aerospace, StormGeo, Lone Star Museum, Texas A&M University. Thank you as well. So you can see with some of the names I'm mentioning, the diversity of support we have. But also, last but not the least, I want to thank Rice University that welcomes us for the second time here, and also the partnership with NASA, JSC for the cooperation. So a big applause to all of those. So dear participants, all SSP classes are unique in many ways, but your class is special. You are the largest SSP class ever, 155 participants from 35 countries from all continents. So this is amazing. The SSP will provide you all the tools and skills needed to understand the dynamics of the space sector. But ISU fosters also a culture of open-minded thinking that is needed by the sector today and tomorrow. This is important because ISU is the gateway to create new connection with your peer, and you will enter very soon the largest space network that will reach 5,800 alumni worldwide in a few weeks. You will stand on the shoulders of the participants before you, often shoulders of giants, as Chris mentioned. And you will pass the baton on our values to the next one. So that comes with certain responsibility. So to finish, dear SSP participant, let me stress that ISU and this program will change your way of thinking about space but also it's a life-changing experience. No doubt, you will learn about all facets of space that will be needed for your next step in your career. No doubt, you will also make lifelong partnerships and friends. No doubt, you will enjoy Houston. Well, maybe not the heat and the humidity, but that's a different story. But on behalf of the ISU team present here today, and in particular Claudia and the team that worked hard for the past months to prepare the program, and that will be with you for the next 2 months, I wish you all the best for the next steps that start tomorrow, be on time, and at Astra.
Thank you, Nicolas. All right. I now would like to introduce to you Jerry Miller. He's a member of the local organizing committee and a systems director at Aerospace Corporation, but Jerry is also the brain behind our cultural performances that you'll see today. So please help me welcome Jerry Miller.
So in keeping with the international tradition of ISU, our first cultural performance is by an international student here at Rice University Shepherd School of Music. Hanna Hrybkova comes to us from Belarus, and she's going to be performing a piece by American female composer Amy Beach. Born in 1867, Amy Beach, not Hanna, is culturally significant because she's the first female American composer to achieve widespread success in cultural composition. She is the first American female composer to compose and publish a full symphony that was premiered by the Boston Symphony in 1896. So as our SSP participants blaze new trails, it's only appropriate that we recognize an early cultural trailblazer.
What a beautiful performance. For a second there, I was so hypnotized, I forgot I had to come back here and continue this Master of Ceremonies. All right, I'm pleased to now introduce our next speaker, Vanessa Weich. Vanessa is the director of NASA's Johnson Space Center, where she leads a team dedicated to human spaceflight missions and innovation. With over 30 years of experience at NASA, Vanessa has been a driving force in advancing space exploration. Please join me in welcoming Vanessa Weich to the stage.
Thank you, Claudia. Good evening, everyone. Awesome. As Claudia mentioned, I am the director of NASA's Johnson Space Center, and there I have the privilege of leading over 11,000 people who are dedicated every day to human spaceflight. That's the majority of what we do. We do a little bit more than that. But it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to Space City. And you are here at an incredible time, For example, right now today, we're doing a test flight of Boeing, which is a company. They have their own spacecraft. So this is them doing commercial space flight. NASA has a relationship with them, a partnership, where they are providing services for us, for our astronauts. But, however, we have to fly a test flight first to make sure we're ready to go. And so we have a spacecraft that's on orbit, going through checkouts so that we can then use it in addition to the commercial spacecraft that's provided by SpaceX. And so commercial space is helping us so that we can achieve all the things that we want to do. But once we do this test flight with Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams, the next flight up will then be Starliner 1, and then we will have that extra capability. Just this week also, we'll be doing the first of 3 spacewalks. So on board the International Space Station, then on Thursday. Our game plan is we will have 2 astronauts that will go out and do some external activities on the space station to bring back in an antenna that we need to bring home for repair. That's just this week. Just this week. Over the past 3 years, we've probably been the busiest that we have been over the entire course of our history. As you saw in the film from President DeRoche, NASA had our founding here in Space City at the Johnson Space Center. We started out after that speech that was kicked off by President Kennedy with the purpose of us having manned missions to the moon. And then we went on with the space shuttle to build the space station, and now we're going to the moon again. And it's a very exciting time. We have our astronauts and mission control all focused right now on the International Space Station, and also doing training and preparations for activities that we will continue to do in what we call low Earth orbit. I'm not going to throw out a bunch of acronyms because you're going to have plenty of time to get those. But with commercial space, we will have follow-on space stations. Some of the companies that are sponsoring us right now for you in this program, right here in Houston, Axiom Space, as well as others that are looking at building follow-on space stations after we retire the International Space Station. And from there, though, we're continuing our efforts of going and exploring the moon. And we're doing that under the Artemis brand. And interesting for us, under Artemis, we're having a test flight that's going to come up very soon of the Orion spacecraft. With that spacecraft, we'll be doing a orbital flight of the moon. And then the next step after that is our plans to actually land on the moon. We are building, along with our international partners, a gateway, which is going to be a small platform near the moon that will allow us to have a human lander to go there, and then we will land on the moon again. It's just a very exciting time, and at Johnson Space Center, we have the privilege of working on all of those activities, as well as doing science missions for our Science Mission Directorate. Right now, today, we're working with what we call our commercial lunar payload services. So those are our commercial partners that are going to the moon. Earlier this year, we had a company called Intuitive Machines to successfully be the first U.S. commercial company to land on the moon. And they will continue to do those efforts along with others as we look at doing both our robotic missions and our human missions at the same time. And we will then venture on after some time of working with our international partners on the surface. Right now, today, we have a contingent of folks that are over in Japan, meeting with the Japanese Space Agency as they're building a pressurized rover. Here in the U.S., we have companies that are building what we're calling our lunar terrain vehicle that's akin to the moon buggy from Apollo, and many other activities as we build out our human capabilities on the surface of the moon. Once we learn how to live on that body, then we're on to Mars. So lots of work already underway. You're going to learn a lot about this as we go, but I am just thrilled that you're here at this particular time. I also want to thank Rice University for hosting. They've always been a great partner of NASA's Johnson Space Center. I loved the footage from the film from Rice showing our early beginnings together and moving forward to where we are today. We will also continue to have a partnership, a strong partnership, as we're building and working together on solving challenges both in space and here on Earth, and working together as we build our STEM workforce. It is through curious minds that NASA maintains its mission of exploring the unknown in air and space and innovating for the benefit of all humanity and inspiring the world through discovery. And ISU offers a remarkable venue for relationship building, as was mentioned earlier. I'm excited for what you're going to experience over the next 8 weeks. Over 200 NASA managers, scientists, engineers, and astronauts have completed ISU's program, 200. So this is an amazing opportunity that we're very, very proud to be a part of, and it's an opportunity for the next generation of leaders, you, the Artemis generation, within the global space community. So I congratulate each and every one of you for being a part of this year's ISU and look forward to the incredible achievements that you're going to make, and know that, as was mentioned, you are the future leaders of our space programs all across the world. And so enjoy your time here. And I know people joke about the heat in Houston, but I will tell you this. There's this wonderful invention called air conditioning. And so we have it everywhere. And I also invite you to take part in swimming pools, all of the things that you're going to use to cool down. But please know that you will have a great time here. Now I have the pleasure of introducing to you a message from our administrator, Bill Nelson. And then after that, you will hear from one of our NASA astronauts, Jessica Meir. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. To all of you at the International Space University's Space Studies program, you've chosen a remarkable time and a remarkable place to build a career in the cosmos. Right from Houston, right from Rice University, right near NASA's Johnson Space Center. So today as we speak, humanity is knocking on the door of a great and dazzling new chapter in the stars. Because in the coming years, we're going to return to the moon, and it's going to be a new way. We are going back to the moon, not just to go to the moon, but to live, to learn, to invent, to create, in order for us to be able to go further, to Mars and beyond, to set foot on the red sands of Mars. And the moon is 4 days away. Mars under conventional propulsion is 7 to 8 months away. And when we get there, we're going to be using science and technology that today still does not exist. And the generation that's going to walk on Mars, it's going to be you. That's just one of the many giant leaps that NASA is planning for the future. And that means that this is a perfect time to come to a place like the Space Studies program. What better time to learn new things across every discipline of space? For example, it doesn't have to actually be looking up. You can be looking down to measure what's happening to climate on the Earth and the changes that are occurring. We can measure that from space, or in looking up to build new ventures in the stars, or to do science like we've never seen it before across the solar system, out into interstellar space, across the universe. The tools that you develop this summer will guide you along the way. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, policy, business, and others. And as important as what you learn this summer is how you look at what you learn. A true space education is interdisciplinary, it's international, it's intercultural. Because more than ever before, space has the power to build international partnerships among nations and also in the private sector, bringing the private sector and the public sector together. So new things are possible. More things are possible because people across different continents and countries are working together. And that's what you're doing right here in this program. So push yourself every day to take advantage of what you're experiencing. Learn from your courses, learn from your teachers, learn from your experiences, learn from your classmates. Because in working together, that's how we're going to lift humanity into the stars. On this very campus at the Rice Stadium, over 6 decades ago, President Kennedy had that famous speech. We hadn't gone to the moon yet. It was in the very infancy of the American lunar program. And he said, we choose to go to the moon and do other things, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Spend this summer doing things that are hard. Ask yourself, what is your moonshot? Use this program to reach onward, upward, and to reach even higher. To reach, as Don Quixote said, to reach for the impossible dream, to reach the unreachable stars.
Greetings from Houston, the Space City, NASA's Johnson Space Center, and International Space University's 2024 Space Studies program. I am NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. As a graduate of the International Space University Master of Space Studies program, I am honored to share information about the NASA Johnson Space Center here in Houston, where you'll be for the Space Studies program experience. ISU's international, intercultural, and interdisciplinary approach helped shape the foundations of my career, launching my professional trajectory and culminating with my 205-day mission on board the International Space Station. NASA Johnson is the hub of human spaceflight and the home of astronauts like me. NASA is collaborating with 15 countries on world-class international space station research, fostering a robust low Earth economy that will benefit all of us. And through Artemis, preparing to land the first woman and first person of color on the moon. Using innovative technologies, we'll explore more of the lunar surface than ever before and collaborate with commercial and international partners to establish the first long-term presence on the moon. Then, we will use what we learn on and around the moon to send the first astronauts to Mars. We are building a global alliance to explore deep space for the benefit of all. We hope to see you in 2024 in Houston. Remember, giant leaps start here.
Okay, y'all. We had some classical culture, so now it's time for some cowboy culture. Okay?
fun. I hope you guys learned those steps. It's part of your midterm exam. All right. It is my great pleasure now to introduce our next speaker, Robert Richards. As a co-founder of the International Space University, Bob has been instrumental in shaping the future of space education and fostering a global community of space professionals. Please help me welcome ISU's co-founder, Bob Richards.
So who put me after that? Hard act to follow. So inspired. What an honor it is to stand here at Rice University on this stage in front of all of you. What an honor it is to be with Johnson Space Center and all of the space agencies that have supported ISU throughout so many years. What an incredible history and heritage. Can you feel it? Everything that we stand for here, that we have the honor and privilege at this moment in time, everything that's happened in space, all of the incredible heroism and heroes that have helped make our world what it is today. ISU began with an idea, a simple idea, that the world can be a better place, not just through the utility of space that can help us inform ourselves about a better world, not just about the inspiration of space that can draw us to the stars, but I think most importantly about the perspective of space, of being in space and looking back to we humans and all the life forms on planet Earth, and think about the sanctity of life and how incredible it is and what a privilege it is to be conscious, to be here with each other. And as we thank all of the sponsors and the staff and the people who have kept the ISU dream alive all of these years and these journeys that we've been on together, I want to look to you, the new participants of ISU, the newest members coming into a family, and you're just trying to figure this out. You're just trying to figure this out. How can all of this be because of you? Well, it is because of you. Because you guys are the future. You're going to hear that a lot. You're going to hear that a lot, here at ISU. To create a better future for all of us, people and planet. I was privileged to meet incredible people when I was as a student. Todd Hawley, Peter de Mendes, changed my life. Todd left us way too soon, but his spirit and his vision is alive and well here at ISU, and a lot of what you're feeling tonight is because of Todd. And Peter, who you're going to hear from in the next few minutes, continues to inspire me today. We all work together to find the better versions of ourselves, to reach out to be better versions of humanity. We've done an incredible job to get this far, but there's so much more work to do. I thank you for everything you've done to be here, and I envy you in many ways of what you're going to experience over the next 8 weeks. I thank all of our sponsors, all the people that have had the continuing commitment to continue this ISU dream of making a better future for humanity in space and among the stars. I'd like to welcome my co-founder, Peter de Mendes, who himself has made a difference, as all you will, who will talk to you a little bit, I'm sure, about a very positive future of abundance brought to us through space technology and a better way of treating ourselves and the planet, of living in concert and symbiosis with the planet and nature, rather than taking from the planet and not giving back. We have a better future, and you guys are going to help figure it out this summer. Thank you very much for the honor of being here with you tonight, and I look forward to meeting you and getting to know you throughout this summer. Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome to ISU.
Hi, everybody. Peter de Mendes here. It's hard to believe that International Space University is 36 years old. It seems like yesterday that we were on the campus of MIT back in 1988. I want to thank all of the ISU executives and faculty and alumni and the leadership of Rice for continuing this epic mission. You know, we founded ISU based upon the principles that this next few decades are the moment in time where the human race moves irreversibly off the planet. And while we've had a slow start over the last 50 years, we're about to hit the inflection point of the curve. As exponential technologies like computation, sensors, networks, AI, robotics, 3D printing, synthetic biology, AR, VR, blockchain are coming online, they're empowering young entrepreneurs, small teams to do the most extraordinary things that only governments could do before. So as we think about 3D printing rockets and 3D printing facilities on the moon, as we think about AI-driven robotics mining asteroids and going out to the stars, I can think of no more exciting time to be in this field. It used to be that only the largest governments and only the multi-billionaires could play in this. Today, if you're a passionate entrepreneur leveraging these exponential technologies, you have a chance to make a dent in humanity's expansion into space. You know, everything we hold of value on Earth, metals, minerals, energy, real estate, are near infinite quantities in space. We're on the verge of a new economic expansion. And as we talk about where humanity is evolving to, and we are very much in the midst of an evolutionary transition, I think it's critical, as many have said, to take the eggs out of this one basket. As Konstantin Tsiolkovsky said, right, humanity is born in the cradle of Earth, but we cannot always stay in the cradle. It's in these next few decades, and it's you, as our students and as our alumni, that's going to make this happen. It's making humanity a multiplanetary species. It's giving humanity confidence that this flame of consciousness of humanity will never be extinguished, that we can do anything. Space serves as one of the most extraordinary motivators for all of us. So I wish you an extraordinary summer ahead. I hope that you go deep. I hope that you find your passion and purpose, and that you pursue it. My favorite saying, you pursue it like a man whose hair is on fire pursues water. Welcome to the 36th anniversary. Welcome to ISU 2024. It's a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you later in this year.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Peter, for welcoming our SSP participants to the ISU family. To close today's ceremony, we have a special message from some of our friends from high places.
Greetings to the International Space University Space Studies program from the International Space Station. I'm NASA astronaut Jeanette Epps, along with my NASA crewmate, Matt Dominic, flying 260 miles above the Earth.
The space station is a multinational orbiting laboratory that has hosted visits from astronauts and cosmonauts from more than 20 different countries. During its history, the space station has seen nearly 4,000 experiments conducted from researchers in over 100 countries. It's an exciting time in Houston, where NASA's Johnson Space Center is the hub of human spaceflight with a vibrant space industry.
This year, students attending the International Space University's 2024 Space Studies program will visit NASA to tour extensive human spaceflight training and support facilities and to hear from experts on a variety of space-related topics. This year's program will offer each of you a potentially life-changing experience filled with opportunities for personal and professional growth, as well as global networking with fellow participants, faculty, local experts, and 5,600 alumni from over 110 countries.
From all of us on the International Space Station, we are sending you best wishes for an extraordinary summer.
All right. I'd like to thank all of our speakers today, the members of the ISU Board of Trustees, ISU's President Nicholas Peter, Vice President of ISU North American Ken Davidian, ISU Dean Sujin Tan, the Central Campus staff that has helped throughout this process, our local organizing committee that has devoted a lot of hours to this effort. I would also like to thank our guests for attendance today opening ceremony. To the class of SSP 24, as you embark on this journey together, I encourage you to embrace every moment, forge your lasting connections, and seize the countless opportunities that await. While I cannot promise you that the weeks ahead are going to be easy or without any challenges, or that you will get enough sleep, as you've already heard, ISU also stands for Insufficient Sleep University, I am confident that you will emerge out of this experience with a renewed perspective, feeling exhilarated and enriched by the knowledge gained and the friendships that you will form with this new space family. With that said, now that the opening ceremony has closed, I hereby declare open the 36th Space Studies program, and I invite you now to proceed to Cohen House for a reception. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.